Okay, so if you didn't grab, there are 3 different forms out there. These are, if you haven't filled out a medical release form for the church in the last year, we'll probably have to get one of those. But if your kid went to Deeper Weekend or did anything like that, we should have a form on file. And those are good for the entire year. This medical release form is for Team Valley themselves, and so they need their separate form. So if you have an opportunity to fill that out today and give it to me, then that just makes it easier. And then of course this is also another one of their forms. It's just if your kid takes any kind of medications or anything like that, they have a record of what they need to take, when they need to take it, and they can manage all of that in-house. This last little packet here is going to give you the bulk of your information that you might need. In here, there's several different things, and we'll kind of jump through this a little bit here in a second. But on the back also has your packing list, what to bring, what not to bring, those kind of things. So if you don't have those, make sure you grab those. Let me pray and we'll get started. God, thank you for this morning. Thank you for these parents to take an opportunity to come just to be informed, get some information. And as we prepare for the summer and all the activities that are before us, God, I pray that you prepare us for the word and the work that you're going to be doing in our lives and in our students' lives. And God, I thank you for an opportunity to go to camp. And for each student that is headed to camp, Lord, I pray that this is an impactful experience, something that they go and they hear from you and come back changed and moved by you. And so pray that you would guide our time today as we just kind of discuss some details and answer any questions. And God, I pray that you are honored and glorified through all of this. For it's in your name we pray. Amen. Okay, so Team Valley Ranch is in Plumtree, North Carolina. It's kind of halfway between Asheville and Boone. And they got hit pretty significant by Helene. So really with that, as far as camp impact, one of the activities that they used to do was tubing down a river there. And as far as I know, that's still not going to be an activity that they do this year, just because there's a lot of steel and debris, and the Corps of Engineers are trying to rebuild that river. So I'm not sure when that will become an activity again, but in lieu of that, I know last year they took groups to like Grandfather Mountain, just as like, since we can't do this, then we supplement it with something else, and that's not too far away. But Team Valley is a really awesome camp. It's a place that I've worked at before. Just a really impactful place. I know a lot of the guys that are on staff there, really incredible guys. But as far as what we'll be doing, on Monday, check-in is from 10 to 2 there, which means we'll probably leave here around, it takes about 2 hours to get there, so we'll probably leave here around 11. So we'll probably do check-in here at church around 10:30. Get everybody checked in, luggage and everything loaded. And then shoot to leave here around 11, get there around 1:30, get checked in. Camp is from Monday through Saturday. We'll leave Saturday morning, head back. Saturday morning is usually pretty brief. Just kind of get up, get things packed, breakfast, and head on out. So we should be back here, I'm guessing around noon or so. So, and then if you ever have any emergencies or need to get in contact with us, I will always have my phone on me. Mary Beth, I'm pretty certain is going to go with us. I've reached out to a couple of our other middle school leaders to go. One of the big differences between Woodlands and Team Valley is Woodlands has a much stronger view on the church being completely disconnected and involved in any way as to what's happening there at camp. Tim and I have small windows of time where we can kind of see them and interact with them. But at Team Valley, there's more opportunity to kind of engage and be involved and around. They will still have their own counselors, kind of and doing their own kind of thing, but there's just a little bit more freedom and interaction and involvement. It just gives us a lot more opportunity to connect with students. And summer camps just in general are a huge opportunity for us as youth leaders, and just to get more time with students. Sunday nights we've got an hour and a half maybe. So a week of camp is just a tremendous amount of time that we get to connect with students, and a lot of relational growth there. So there may be a few other of our leaders that go, but we'll be there. So I say you can contact one of us directly. I'll give you, if you don't already have my cell phone number, I'll give you my cell phone number. It is up in the mountains, so depending on what we're doing and where we're at, maybe we have service, maybe we don't. But on this paper is the office phone number. So if there's an emergency or you just need to get in contact with someone, you can contact that office number, and somebody should be there at any point to answer the phone and kind of grab us or get us connected to whatever you need there. Just as far as just for your peace of mind, they are nearly as vigilant as we are in terms of child safety. They make sure that any leader that comes has a background check, is clearly identified on campus. Everybody is known and thoroughly, looked through and all that kind of thing. And so we know who's there, and that our kids are being taken care of and safe. And so they make sure they vet all of their leaders, not just the ones that are there serving as counselors, but any visitors, other youth pastors, other youth leaders that are there. Let's see, some of this other information. So the way that they run camp, there are a couple of handouts right up there on the table if you want to grab a couple of those. The way that the format of camp runs, they have 3 different programs, so to speak. The 3rd through 5th graders are a program they call Pioneers. That's actually mostly separately ran in a different section of camp. And then their 6th through 12th graders are divided by middle school and high school, but they are by and large ran together. There are some activities that maybe the high schoolers do that the middle schoolers don't, and vice versa, but by and large, and they call those Rangers and Mountaineers, those programs are pretty much simultaneous and together. And so that's kind of how they divide that up through their program. Let's see here. What's other information on this packet? You can send care packages, or sometimes parents and campers will send some stuff throughout the week, or send stuff ahead of time even. If you would like to do something like that, you can see on the side here where it says mail and packages, the P.O. Box 10 is their mailing address, and as far as I know, and I can double check this, but if for some reason this is different, I will let you know. The only reason I slightly question that is because that post office got demolished. But as far as I know, that P.O. box is still operating and functional for them.
Can we just send packages with you?
You could. You could just bring them at check-in on Monday, and we could just take them. Aaron, Naomi, one thing that we talked about and covered that would be helpful is on Monday, check-in at campus from 10 to 2, which means we'll need to do our check-in here around 10:30, and we'll shoot to leave around 11 or so on Monday. Yeah, so you come in and bring, which is some, we've done that similar even with Woodlands, and we could just drop that off. They do camp photos. If you go to Team Valley's website, there will be a section that says camp photos, and then there'll be a password for that for you. And on the bottom of the bottom of the paper here, it says TVR 1968 is the password, and then they'll have each week. Week 7 is our week, and so you just go click that, and you'll be able to see the photos and everything that's kind of been taken throughout the week. Any questions about any of that so far? Medications, kind of talked about this a second ago, but on this medication form, just make sure you fill out any kind of medications that your kid may be taking, any kind of instructions that they need to have, those kind of things, just so that they're aware of what needs to be taken, what they're allowed to take in case of a headache or anything like that. Obviously, any kind of allergies be listed as well. We don't really recommend or ask for any kind of visitors, but if there is a circumstance or situation that pops up where somebody does come to visit, they do need to check in at the front office, which as you pull into the parking lot is that main building right there. But if there was a situation like that for us, I would just ask that just contact me and let me know, hey, something's going on, or I'd like to come visit, or whatever the situation may be, and I can help guide you and direct you in that. And then the last bit on this packet is just your packing list. What to bring, what not to bring. Obviously, want to make sure we have their Bible and notebook and pens and those kind of things. The sleeping situation, I haven't been inside any of the Woodlands cabins, but as far as I would guess, very similar to any other camp that we've been to. It's very similar situation even to like a Wanata, where stacked bunks. Most of theirs is a hallway of rooms, and then they'll have like I think 10 bunk beds in each little room that are too high. So just bring twin sheets and blankets or sleeping bag or whatever they feel, whatever's most comfortable for them, but they'll just have like a twin mattress for them in their room. Rooms aren't ultra big, so I would say pack not in super massive bags, but I know that's probably more for the girls than the guys, trying to get all the different clothing and different types of shoes, make sure that they have their nice shoes, messy shoes, all that kind of stuff. I will say on Thursday, I believe it is, they do an activity that's super messy with shaving cream and all kinds of stuff. So I would send them with something that you're okay with them getting super messed up and maybe just throwing away. Level clothing, that's about 2/3 of the way down. It says closed for slapperoo. That's what that is. It's a shaving cream fight, and I think in years past I've even seen like ketchup and mustard and all kinds of stuff, and they'll do and they'll do a rodeo too, where they do different rodeo games, so all kinds of messy stuff. So just be prepared with that for your clothing. They do have horses, but they'll need long pants and I believe closed-toed shoes for horseback riding, and it's just a trail ride. They'll ride kind of around campus. They have 2 different types of zip lines. One is a dry zip line that just goes from a tower down to a landing point, just connect, nothing super special for that. The second zip line goes into their pond, which is super fun, but obviously you'll need something that you can get wet in and stay modest in that fashion. So usually for guys or girls, just some shorts that are good to get wet, t-shirt, that kind of thing. There's a hike that can be, it's not super intense, but it is probably a half hour, 45-minute hike. Goes up to the top of the mountain, and there's this little jettison off the side of the mountains called Plow Point, and it kind of sticks out, and you can kind of see the whole area there. It's really beautiful. But for that, obviously, some good shoes if they want to hike up to the top of the mountain. And that's a really, really fun activity. Trying to think through some of the other kind of unique special activities that they do. They also have a climbing tower and a rappelling tower. So all that to say, some shoes to get messy in, some good shoes that will have some good traction and in terms of like walking, hiking, climbing kind of thing. Obviously, what not to bring, some obvious things on there. They're gonna ask, no cell phones and technology and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions about that, one, I would say just from a cell phone perspective, for the sake of distraction, it would be a huge help for them not to have that, but also too, from a safety standpoint and just making sure we eliminate any potential dangers there. And thirdly, I mean, there are key points where I know to make sure I have cell phone coverage, but it's up in the mountains, so it's not like they're gonna have a ton of coverage anyway. But if you have any questions about that, or if you prefer or need for us to discuss that, then just let me know and we can kind of talk further about that. Prescription medications, all medications, including over-the-counter medicines, must be checked in on Monday and will be distributed by the camp nurse. So just make sure that all that kind of stuff is put on your medical release form. If you have a child that needs an EpiPen or an inhaler, then we just need to address that as needed, as appropriate. So yeah. Any other questions about packing lists? Anything, Bree? Yes, ma'am.
So I had checked in with Gabby about a couple things because it says, especially for girls, it's a little tricky. It says that appropriate length shorts, and Gabby said she was going to call the office to find out before this meeting to see what
is appropriate
Yeah,
length.
see the picture on the other side, because like their shorts are not like real long.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, like.
So Gabby did look up on their socials just to see some things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I know that we're probably gonna have to get some stuff for Cassia, so I don't want to buy the wrong things that could work.
Right.
And then also, but no there's no leggings, no yoga pants, whatever. So, but
Yeah.
I guess we could all look on socials, but I didn't know if she had a chance to call the office.
I can call Josh or even Ashlyn, who is on staff there, and ask them more specifically, like, do you have, when we were in youth, it was always like fingertip lengths or whatever. But I don't, obviously, that is a difficult challenge, especially with some of our taller girls too. I will see if they have a strict, like, hey, this is, well, I think if you're trying, look for just something that's modest, and a lot of girls that I've seen even wear the Nike shorts, those swoosh ones, that were super popular for a long time. I've seen a lot of those. I'll see what they say as far as like specifics and stuff, and get back to you in the next couple days. But I don't know of any like strict.
I mean, it said to call the office. I'm like, if all of us are calling.
No.
One person just.
I'll call or text Josh
Okay.
and see where it is on that.
For the snack shack cash, do they actually bring cash that they might lose, or is there like?
So, that is a good question. I know they have talked about doing a cashless system. They do. You can do cash, and for summer camp, if I remember correctly, that you come and deposit your cash, and then they'll go through and, let's say you bring $50. As they go in and they spend it, then they have their account and they'll knock it off throughout the week, and then at the end of the week, they'll just give the whatever's remaining back. I'm not sure if they have worked in a cashless system yet, where you can add to that online or virtually some way. I'll double check on that. I know Josh and I had been talking about that last year, but I'll see kind of where they're at on that system. But you can't, I think the main thing is just, you can send them with whatever amount of money, and then they'll keep an account for each camper in their system. No. Yeah, they for sure would lose that.
Yeah,
instantly.
Elliot lost his at the worship night. He was like, I don't even know why you sent me cash, Mom. I'm like, oh, it's my fault. Like, yeah, but keeping track of it for a week's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Is there, other than the snack, is there like a craft shop that they would buy things at, or a gift shop?
So in the snack shop, there is drinks and snacks, candy bars, ice cream, any kind of food items. But they also have other things like t-shirts and hoodies and hats and all different things. So it's all kind of in one place, one little snack shop building. Has kind of everything from souvenir type stuff
That's
to
the only
just.
place that they would spend money.
If you're checking on the cash list, can you get a ballpark of what's an average something that somebody brings? I mean,
Yeah.
I know Woodlands had their target.
Yeah, not nearly as expensive as Woodlands as far as what you're spending, but if they were to buy a hoodie, I think the hoodies are probably in the $40-50 range. So if you send them with $50 and they buy a hoodie, then it's but if they're just getting
Too bad.
right, exactly. So if they're I think most
$50
everything
is
is
That's right.
yeah. So I think if they're just getting a drink and a candy bar once or so a day. There is one other place I just remembered. They do have a coffee shop that has a bunch of random little fun drinks, and I think also in the summertime they do some slushy type drinks that are kind of it's like a coffee bar atmosphere, but they do a bunch of different fun little things. That's another spot, and those are but yeah, so I can get a suggested. I would say $40 to $50 would be a fair amount. I'll see if they have something that they recommend, but that's kind of what I would gauge, just from my experience. Yes, ma'am.
They're not really swimming. I mean, they're just some water activities, but it's not like swimming.
Well, the zip line that goes into the pond, I mean, you'd be fully in the water at that. So it goes down, and you basically kind of come down on your back in the water. But once you settle, you're in the water. Yeah.
Okay. But there's not a pool.
Not a pool. No.
Swimming area in the lake.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just with the zip line.
Just with the zip line. Yeah.
Do they do a swim test?
They don't that I know of, but they have life vests on them, and they have their staff in that area.
How deep is the water when they get off?
It's standable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's chill. It's not crazy.
No. You go down, and once you get to the bottom, you can stand up and you can reach up and unhook yourself. So it's not
Your feet don't.
Plunging
no,
into
it's
some-
not like you're sitting there trying to tread water and you're on this tethered line.
That would be very
Yeah,
hard to
no.
get out, especially for small people.
Yeah, and they've got third graders doing this, so they've got ways of handling that.
Do they get as part of the camp package, do they get a shirt?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
they're
one
so the theme this summer, I don't know if it's on this paper or not, but is awake and alive. I thought I saw it somewhere. And the week's verse is Ephesians 5:14, I believe. I do not see it on this packet. But they'll have at the end of the week they'll get a shirt that has the theme on it, and I don't know how it's designed.
Or you said at the end of the week?
I think so. Usually, if I remember correctly, I think it's usually
So I know junior campers, if they get it at the beginning of the week, they wear it every day. And then you only have to send one shirt with them.
That's true.
I know we're not, Cassie's not a junior.
How many kids are you taking?
I think we have 15 signed up.
I was wondering that for the roommate they request, because I'm sure that my kid will probably care, but I don't know, are they gonna be with the church?
Yeah, our church group will all be together
Doesn't
with
matter
our
with
church
the-
group, and I don't know
request.
that will really be intermixed. I did get an email from their admin letting us know that they are full.
Okay.
So which for us, they're super lenient in their registration. They ask that we give them a 5-person range, and that we fall within that. But they're kind of saying now, like, hey, as soon as you know, like, exactly what your number is, let us know, because we've got kids on a waiting list that would like to throw in if we can. But they're super generous in that regard, and so I say that to say, usually I don't see us intermingling in our actual room. Well, they will be kind of mixed up as far as like their counselor and their cabin groups, but they should be able to, you know, stay with other guys. Like if he wants to room, I wouldn't see us rooming with a bunch of other churches. So.
Okay, so should we find out who's going so that our kids can make roommate requests, or?
Yeah, you can. I can give you a list of the other guys. Let's see here. So, Thomas Seacrest is going. Connor Fitzpatrick. Of course, Ethan's going.
Oh yeah, that's one.
Silas Vance. Gavin Detente. Oh, and Leland Mahome. So,
Is your son Ethan? Oh, okay.
No, y'all are
Yeah.
Ethan's parents, right? No,
Mhm.
Elliot's my son. I think he can be Ethan's parents.
I don't know, he's like, TikTok's about everybody.
That's how I do
Is
it.
Elliot in 7th grade? Yeah, I'm sure that they know each other.
Should, Circle Care says, 6th or 8th grade.
So they do it as rising. So whatever your kid's going into.
So will
They'll be-
she'll be with high schoolers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. She would be. So if your kid is currently in 8th grade, they would be a mountaineer.
Okay.
If their kid, everybody else would be a ranger.
Alright, I have a girl kind of going to, Mary's gonna be going.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me the girls that are going?
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Elia Homeshire, Cassia Collier, Karis Wells, Annabelle, Bella Provenzano is going, Mariah, Maggie, and Gigi Cruz, and Caitlin Detente.
Okay, food question for you.
Yeah.
Ethan has sesame allergy. Can you, and Trina's, yeah, but can you give us or could we get in advance a menu?
Yes.
The nuts are easy,
Right.
but the sesame is more
Yeah, it can be difficult, and I can talk with them about that too. They're usually really good at.
We need it, if there's like
Yeah,
a contact
if it's like we
person
need to
that.
contact.
Yeah,
you
for
don't
sure.
have to do that extra work.
But I can. They're making a change. Their guy who was their kitchen manager is transitioning into a different role, so I'll find out who that is. But I believe on their website,
Yep, I'm looking at it right now.
does it have a lunch or a menu schedule
It does
there?
have a menu. It says, so the question, it's in the camper information. My child has a dietary restriction. And they say the first step would be to make sure you put it on the form we're filling out today within the instructions. Next, feel free to contact our kitchen manager that has
They know.
the email address.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
Any other questions kind of along those lines?
Who's the week 2 speaker?
I don't know. Some schlum.
It's him.
What week are we, week 7?
Seven, yeah.
Who's that speaker, maybe?
So week 7 is, oh shoot, I forgot his name. Do you have that pulled up?
I can find it.
Yeah.
Speakers. It is. Yeah, Brian Smith, senior pastor of Stewart Heights Baptist Church. They have 5 kids.
Yeah, he's got a little bio.
So he's got knowledge.
Yeah. In fact, we went to a marriage retreat in the fall, and I think he was the speaker there, and he was a pretty good dude. Okay, so, but they'll have. Usually, how it'll go is in the morning they'll have quiet time, and you can. I think they have a sample schedule there, but they'll have like a morning quiet time, do lunch or breakfast. And then they'll have a morning session that's guided by their staff. On Thursday, I believe it's Thursday, they'll do a Q&A with a speaker, and then in the evening they bring in different speakers each week, and that person delivers the message in the evenings from Monday through Friday night. So yeah. Any other questions? Cool. Well, I'm super excited. Like I said, this is a camp that I have some good connection involvement with before, and so I'm just excited to have something a little bit different and different options for us as well. And one of the big things to me is just being able to connect with our students more regularly at camp, and so I think it's going to be a great week, a good time. And so if you have any questions at any point about this, even before we leave or while we're there, please don't hesitate to contact me. We'll get whatever we can, and as much as I can help you out with that situation too. And I'll make sure I talk to their staff too about dress code stuff too, just so we're clear and nobody goes in expecting one thing and then come to find out it's like, oh.
I'm wearing these shorts.
Yeah, right.
Did you mention what adults are going to North Hills?
So I talked about this a little bit before, but me and Mary Beth are for sure going. And I've invited several of our other middle school leaders, but a lot of them just have a lot of different work or other. We have some college kids that have other obligations that kind of have been dancing around. I've been trying to hook a few of them in, but we'll see if we get any more. But for sure, Mary Beth and I will be there. Any other questions? Great. Well, if you do have these forms filled out and finished, I'll take them just so you don't have to carry them around, but I'll take them and send them with us as we go. If you haven't finished them and need some more time or need to grab other information from home or whatever, then just bring those to check-in whenever we do check-in on the 20th, of July. So, excellent. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming. I'll pray real quick for us and close. God, thank you for each of these parents. I thank you for each of the students that they bring to our church and entrust us with. And God, I pray that this week of summer camp would be an impactful one, God. And I ask that you would place your hand over it. And we thank you for this time that we've had together. For your name we pray. Amen.